Hello, folks, and welcome back to the windy tundra today. I think the weatherman has decided to just play tricks on all of us. So it was supposed to be 40 plus degrees Fahrenheit. Hello, turkeys. Today it was like 8 whole degrees above freezing. Instead, it's 37, which I guess is close to 40. But not really in terms of the real feel when you factor in the wind that we've got going on, when you factor in the fact that it's damp in the air, and when you factor in that I drove home with snow flurries today. Thankfully, it's not anything major, nothing stuck. And I have to say, despite all the challenges, here we are. Look at that. Remember the last time we looked at the pond, I said there's some cracks there. The aerator is working as hard as it possibly can, and it just wasn't keeping up with it. Well, a few degrees above freezing for a day, and we've got a pool again. So yay, happy day. Look, the ducks are happy. The geese are so happy they've managed to walk themselves all the way out there, and they are hanging out in the corner by themselves. That's because it's getting to be goose breeding season. Remember that I told you that we usually get our first goose egg on Valentine's Day, and as of this recording, it is 4 days away from, no, 3 days away from Valentine's Day. And I think you'll see it 2 days away. So, you know, we're right there, right? Goose eggs should happen anytime. Of course, unfortunately, they will lay it out here in the snow. It will be hard to see. We might not even see it. It will get frozen and it will be a waste. And that is just so annoying. But it is what it is, right? The hope is that we get more melt. I'm actually starting to see ground in a couple of places. So yay. But we are still dealing with a ton of challenges. Look at all the ducks looking at me. They hear me talking. They're like, what are you talking about? We're still dealing with a ton of challenges. The wind is not helping. It's blowing stuff into the pond, as you can see. We've got branches in there now and some other tree debris. That's all fine. It's just like the leaves. It'll eventually decay, decompose, and add to the nutrition in the pond. But for now, it's just a mess. So this morning, right? Yesterday we didn't quite get above freezing, but we had enough sun even through the clouds and we were close enough to the freezing mark that things started to melt a little bit. Then all that moisture became ice this morning, and I almost wiped out a couple of times on my way to the car just to get to work. And you know, like all of this crusty snow is horrible for everybody. Nobody likes it. Everybody's dirty because they can't get clean. Like they've all got dirt on them. Look at this poor goose. He's a dirty birdie. And I didn't even mean that to rhyme, but there you go. I'm a poet. All our turkeys are filthy right now. They just, you know, like they need a break. I need a break. The warmer temperature is certainly helping matters. We have a couple chickens out and about today, but we are all ready for spring, and it's not coming anytime soon, and it's certainly not coming fast enough. So where are we at with birds? A lot of people asking. I'm getting a lot of questions about hatching. I do not start hatching baby birds until after Easter. I will have eggs before that, but I will not hatch before Easter, and I will not sell baby birds before Easter. That just saves me a whole lot of heartache, and it saves the animals a whole lot of stress and struggle for, you know, not being Easter presents. That is just not what I do. I may start hatching 2 days after Easter, but it will be after Easter, with the exception of the geese. So the geese will start laying Valentine's Day, almost a guarantee. I'll have to go try and trudge through the snow to see if I can find an egg, because honestly, I don't know where they'll lay it. They won't lay it in the coop. This is why they're hanging out in the back corner here. They always lay it somewhere under a tree or under a rock or in a really obscure place, and I have to go play hunt and hide and go seek. And unfortunately, it will sit and get frozen, and it just won't be a viable egg. But typically, I would throw those into the incubator instantaneously, and there are 28-day incubation, so February would be mid-March that we would start to see goslings. But of course, I've already talked to you and told you guys about that. You know, their fertility rates are terrible. So even though we get eggs, odds are they're not fertile. And even if they are fertile, it's a, 60-40 chance that they hatch, 40 being the chance that they actually hatch. It's just a struggle with those guys. So those are the only ones that I start trying to hatch before Easter. The ducks will start laying at the end of February, early March, and they're a little bit more weather dependent. They're a little bit smarter. They know that they would not want to hatch babies in this weather, so they will wait until the changeover to spring weather-wise. Like, they may not wait for all the snow to melt. They may not wait for the whole pond to be thawed, because that could be months. But they will wait until the weather's a bit more consistent. And they'll start laying end of February, early March. Early March eggs, I will throw into the incubator to test for fertility to make sure everything's going as planned. But those babies that would hatch at the end of March, early April will not be for sale. Those babies will be mine and only mine. Mine! That's right, turkey. The turkey won't start laying until later in March, if not even April sometimes, depending on, again, the weather. So they're definitely an after Easter bird, because they're also a 28-day incubation period. And the chickens, who have been laying year round because they're precocious like that, they'll continue to lay, but I hatch chickens on demand. So essentially, you have to just let me know that you're interested. You place an order for how many chicks you want. We set up a timeline, and I set the clutch. Chickens hatch in 21 days, so it's only 3 weeks from the time we commit to the time you have your chicks. It just doesn't make sense for me to have a whole bunch of chicks on hand all the time, where, ducklings, I do want to have some on hand because we have enough demand for it. Same thing with turkey and geese. So yeah, if you're interested in baby birds, it's starting to come up around that time, but we've got to navigate this weather. So let's hope that the geese decide to lay their egg in the coop. I don't think it'll happen, but fingers crossed. And hope that we continue to get thaw. Even though this is a hot mess and it's creating ice in the mornings, at least we're getting some thaw and some relief, and we've got a pond again, or at least we've got a little baby pool. We'll call it that. It's a baby pool. So that's the story. That's what's going on here. We're prepping for baby goats. We're prepping for baby birds, and we're hoping for spring. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Be kind, and I'll see you at the next one. Bye for now.